All right. Now, like I said, I've discussed things already. Now, I've talked about my thoughts of when China attacks, here in Australia anyway, and a couple other thoughts about America. But here's America about to talk about their thoughts of their greatest dude on the news or whatever, or one of their cool dudes. The news, that's what the news meant to pick. And that, they go for the ones with the biggest badge in certain fields. Is about to talk about what they expected China attacks. Let's have a listen.
Retired U.S. Marine Colonel, former U.S. diplomat, and senior fellow at the Center for Security Policy, as well as the author of When China Attacks. Grant, thank you for joining us. First, I just wanted to start with the 2 U.S.-bound military aircraft in the South
Author.
Sea.
So that means he's already done a book. And if China's smart, right, more than likely they won't do what he said they'll do. Because he'll be like, well, they expect that. And if they do, they'll do it in another whole different way. So the more you talk about it and put it out in the world, sadly, it's like the cop shows, the more harder it becomes. Right? Because you're giving them the information. You're telling them what you know. Right? Or unless you're putting out deceiving information. In fact, you wouldn't want to do any of what they say. And if the humans are listening to them and go, oh, that's a good one, it's not. And we're just in a scary world. Look out when it comes, because I've already talked about a lot of ways to approach certain areas. In fact, I talk about a way that they wouldn't even see it coming until it's too late. Right? Including shutting down economies, infiltrating, and all that kind of stuff. That's actually the best way to do it, is to try to take over the economy with less damage. Because you win better. Now, back in the old days, we used to just burn shit, but they realised, because they didn't want the enemy to come back and take it, that you actually realise if you take over it properly and then defend it, it's better. Right? And then when you leave, perhaps burn it then. Right? The bad guys should do, it's the best way to do it. And so the good guys try to burn, those old tactics. But you should just get things right in the first place. And when you burn, just think about it. And you want to do come back, what are you not going to have? Right? So you shouldn't go so far in certain areas. But they burnt because it was easy and quicker. I don't know. Let's continue.
These bombers were also spotted provoking Taiwan's airspace. Is this just a strange coincidence? Trump gave kind of an odd response when he was asked about it, saying maybe it's bad fuel. I've never heard such a description before.
Well, you have to wait and see until the investigation is done. Flying aircraft off of aircraft carriers and Navy ships is inherently a dangerous business. Accidents happen frequently. It is unusual to have 2 accidents happen so close to each other, so you never know. You should never rule anything out. But in this business, you really have to wait
and see you later.
What the investigation